physicians in this province may soon be able to get a second opinion on your diagnosis from artificial intelligence.
Toronto's University Health Network is teaming up with researchers at the University of Waterloo and the Vector Institute to develop software that can read and provide feedback on medical images like x-rays and ultrasounds. The aim is to have the AI program specifically assist radiologists and pathologists. At this stage, UHN is supplying tens of thousands of high-resolution anonymized x-ray images along with the expertise of a group of radiologists to train the algorithm. The goal is to roll out the program within the UHN's network of hospitals in Toronto within the next 18 months. For 680 News, I'm City News reporter Erica Natividad.
680 News Time 2:48. Local food bank directors were at Queen's Park today to release a profile looking at hunger in Toronto and the GTA. The average food bank user has just over $800 to spend each month. And Ryan Noble with North York Harvest Food Banks, that's not enough.
At the same time, 74% of that income, that small amount of income, is going to housing. So what that means when we do the math out is that median food bank user has $7.83 per day for all other non-housing related expenses.
Or so everything.
Transportation, childcare,
phone bill,
medical care, education, and of course, food.
The report also reveals that in the past year, Mississauga has seen the highest increase in food bank visits at 16%, followed by North York and Scarborough. CTV News Time 2:49. An Ontario researcher says he has discovered a new way to convert carbon dioxide into fuel in a process that mimics photosynthesis. A University of Waterloo engineering professor says the discovery serves a potential route to help the world's climate crisis.
What we discovered is a new way and inexpensive way to convert carbon dioxide into liquid fuels, which is methanol, using CO2 and water and sunlight as an input, got methanol and oxygen as the product.
The results were published today in the journal Nature Energy. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and your extended forecast.
680 News Time 2:50.
This holiday, what if giving also felt like getting? At Indigo, Chapters & Kohl's, we have incredible gifts that inspire moments. Fabulous books, toys, home decor, and everything else you need to give more magic. Visit us in-store or at indigo.ca.
Canadians don't let weather slow us down. We get out there to work, to play, in the truck that more of us drive. The Ford F-150, built with capability to help you own every season and smart technology that makes every job easier. Right now, get 0% purchase financing for up to 60 months plus over $8,000 in total value on select new 2019 F-150 models. Get the truck built for any season. Get your F-150 at your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
This holiday, make shopping for the perfect gifts easy at indigo.ca. Simply shop online, then pick up in store at any of our locations across the country. For stress-free shopping and sure to please presents, go to indigo.ca.
680 News Time 2:51.
Time for traffic and weather together. On the ones, here's Carrie Prenskus.
This report is brought to you by Mark Feldstein and Associates. I have my eyes peeled on the 400 and Major Mackenzie. MTO crews are poised to do a full closure of the northbound 400 between Major Mackenzie and Teston to clear away all of that dirt debris that I've been talking about for the last hour. Northbound 400. A dump truck lost whatever it was carrying, which appeared to be a lot of dirt and soil. In between Major Mackenzie and just north of Teston, and it looks like they have now just closed the highway northbound 400 at Major Mackenzie. It shouldn't take too long to sweep away all of this dirt debris, but again, northbound 400, not seeing any traffic coming through right now at Major Mackenzie, so all of those lanes are closed. We'll let you know as soon as everything reopens. If you're traveling the northbound 410, traffic spotters updating me that the collision north of Queen, that's been moved to the shoulder, but a slow go northbound 410 from Steeles to north of Queen. Eastbound on the QEW approaching Guelph line, 2 right lanes are closed. That's for emergency road work. And a heavy backup Toronto-bound QEW from Fairview right through to Guelph line. Heading eastbound on the 401, it's still going with volume from the 427 to the 400 Express and Collectors. Another delay from Avenue to Yonge in the Express, then busy from Bayview to Leslie in the Collectors. Southbound 404 Don Valley Parkway, not too bad at all. It's just as busy as you approach the 401 ramps. Westbound on the Gardner, that's heavy approaching Jarvis to west of Strawn. And then jam
and westbound Gardner from the Humber Bridge to the 427. Just before the 427, the right lane is blocked. It's because of a stalled truck. Northbound Don Valley Parkway, that's busy with volume from Bloor to north of Lawrence. For all your personal and corporate tax accounting needs, call Mark Feldstein and Associates, Chartered Professional Accountants. Call from your mobile now at Pound Tax or online at markfeldstein.ca. And now with the extended forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
We are above average today. The guaranteed high 11 degrees, the average high about 9, and enjoy it because it will be a lot cooler for the rest of the week. Some showers at times could return this evening, 5 for the low. Still dealing with a brisk wind. For tomorrow, sun and cloud for the most part, the high 7, the wind out of the west-southwest. And then for Wednesday, chance of showers or flurries will start with morning temperatures just -1, and the high Wednesday only +3. For today, the guaranteed high 11.
Cloudy skies in downtown Toronto, 11 at Pearson, 680 News Time 2:53.
Coming up at 3 o'clock, our Mark Douglas will join us live from Etobicoke, where Toronto police are investigating a brazen daylight shooting. Shots ringing out just before 1 this afternoon in a plaza right across the street from Sherway Gardens. This is 680 News.
Catch all the excitement of your favorite slots and table games at Casino Woodbine. Sign up for a free One Rewards membership today, and you could be eligible to get your first $250 on us. Need a lift? We've added new Toronto shuttle bus routes that will take you right to our front doors. Must be 19 plus. Rewards membership required. If you gamble, play smart. Casino Woodbine.
Gamble, play smart. Be the house.
For gaming and entertainment at 680 News. We know what.
That cut my joint rolling time in half. It was already busted up.
Will announce a lucky winner of our growing cash jackpot.
Now, get more chances to win each month and vacation better with Sunwing.
Enter in November for your chance to win an all-inclusive vacation for 2 to the Blue Bay Grand Esmeralda. Enjoy the lavish amenities and tropical gardens of this resort just outside of Playa del Carmen.
With 6 gourmet a la carte restaurants and multiple pools around the resort.
Enter the 680 News weather guarantee with Sunwing and the Blue Bay Grand Esmeralda.
At 680news.com.
Don't worry, that Hallmark Christmas movie will be on again tomorrow, or probably even later. Our Colin Robertson is taking a look at what's happening in the GTA.
Marijuana is a memory loss drug, so I just don't remember. I would remember. Well, how could you if it just erased your memory? That's not how it works. Now, how do you know how it works?
Hemingway's is hosting the Office Trivia.
Back it off. Okay, I'm interviewing you. You said that I'd be conducting the interview when I walked in here. Now, exactly how much pot did you smoke?
Question started at 7. Late Mike T.O. is happening at the Ossington. Show gets going at 8. And the big audience comedy show is at Grossman's Tavern. Tickets are $10 at the door. Colin Robertson, 680 News.
680 News Time 2:55.
I am the greatest pothole to ever rule this country road. Your attempts to fix me have been futile. This season I'm bigger, badder, and I will ruin your scenic fall adventure. Every vehicle will bow before me. Even you, Subaru, with your fancy standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Even you will not evade this pothole. Down there, Subaru, with your high and mighty ground clearance. Just you wait. I will get deeper.
Adventure comes standard at your local Subaru dealer. Hurry in for lease and finance rates from 0.5%. Your garage is full of stuff, and stuff is just another name for junk. 1-800-GOT-JUNK can be there in just 90 minutes, and we work until midnight, 7 days a week. Now get out your pointing finger, use it to dial the phone, and park tonight in a clean garage. We've cleaned lots of garages for just $199. A really big, really messy garage might be $100 or $200 more, but that's a cheap price to pay for a clean garage. Goodbye, junk. Hello. Release. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or contact us through our website, 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
680 News Time 2:56.
Time now for the business report. Here's Richard Southern.
Hey, well, a very good afternoon to you. A couple of big corporate stories on the go here. First off, did you know Facebook announced today that it's rebranding, going from Facebook with lowercase to an whole uppercase Facebook with a slightly different font.
Wow.
So pretty minimal in that regards. However, the company also said it will be introducing a new logo to better indicate all the various products and services it now offers, including Instagram and WhatsApp. The timing of the move is notable because the company faces calls from politicians and consumer advocates for the government to break it up into various pieces. That's what they want the U.S. to do, to break up Facebook. A lot of people are pushing for that. Google
Into what?
A couple of years ago, and it did the same thing with a bit of a rebrand. Back in 2015, Google started calling itself Alphabet, restructured the company to make Google a subsidiary. So we've kind of seen this before. Facebook stock today up 1.1%, $195 and change. It's up a very strong 49% so far this year. Other big corporate story on the go is McDonald's. It announced late yesterday that it had fired its CEO, Steve Easterbrook, over his relationship with another employee. That relationship, the company said, violated company policy and demonstrated poor judgment. Now, McDonald's today is detailing his severance package. Easterbrook will be entitled to $675,000 before benefits. In addition, he could receive a prorated bonus. However, Easterbrook is unable to work in any of McDonald's competitors for 2 years under this particular exit agreement. McDonald's stock is down almost 3.25% today, $187.72. It's up 5.75% on a year-to-date basis. TFX right now is higher. It's up 75 points, or 0.5%. Financials looking pretty good here. We're seeing some strength as well for the railway stocks. On Wall Street, the Dow's up 100. This is record territory at 27,447. S&P also in record territory, adding 13 points. The Nasdaq up 52. And the Canadian dollar down at 76.04 cents US. Top stories next on 680 News.
Hey, you're that famous actress. You must travel so much. What's the best site for hotel deals? Hilton.com. No. One with crazy savings. Hilton.com.
With their price match guarantee, if you find a better rate, they match it and take 25% off.
No, one with lots of options.
Hilton.com has 16 top hotel brands. Hampton, Hilton Garden Inn, Waldorf Astoria,
Hilton.com. You should totally do their commercial.
Expect better. Expect Hilton.
You're good.
I know, thank you.
Applicable terms and conditions at Hilton.com.
Tanya likes to avoid risks. She's never made a souffle for fear that it won't rise. She won't text her friends because they might not text her back. But she does like investing with HSBC's new GIC offer because there's no risk at all. It's guaranteed to give her 2.15% interest over 12 months. A year from now, she'll spend her returns on some neutral colored furniture. Get 2.15% per annum on a 12-month non-redeemable GIC until December 31st, 2019. Terms apply. Learn more at hsbc.ca/GIC.
In Burlington, it's mostly cloudy and 11 degrees, overcast and 10 in Guelph. Oshawa, a few clouds and 11 degrees. In Vaughan, it's mostly cloudy and 10. In Mississauga, mostly cloudy, 11 degrees. And right now downtown, it is cloudy and 11. This is CFTR 680 News. It's 3 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, bad weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are James Monroe and Laura Carney.
Good afternoon. It's Monday, November 4th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
A midday shooting across the street from Sherway Gardens leaves a man bleeding on the ground.
Obviously, a lot of time. He was just moaning.
Elizabeth May is no longer leader of the federal Green Party.
I wanted to choose a moment when we had had a lot of success before leaving.
She is staying on as an MP.
QP votes to ratify school support workers' new deal with the province, now standing behind Ontario's teachers as they continue their own contract talks.
We will introduce you to the Blue Jays' new starting pitcher, and the Elites should have Jake Muzzin against the Kings. Sports at 15.
Money Making Monday, TSX up 80 points. Wall Street hits a record. Business at 26.
680 News Time 3:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Carrie Prunskis.
This report is brought to you by Viva Next. Big problems on the northbound 400 at Major Mackenzie. All lanes are blocked. This is for debris cleanup. Over an hour ago, there was a dump truck that went through and lost a lot of dirt that it was carrying. So that's why they have closed all lanes on the northbound 400 at Major Mackenzie. There's a street sweeper moving along and doing everything as quickly as can be done. But in the meantime, nothing is moving on the northbound 400. It's packed from Rutherford to Major Mackenzie. Yes, traffic is stopped, but MTO tells me it shouldn't take long for all lanes to reopen. And northbound on the 410, you're going to find heavy delays there as well. From approaching Steeles to north of Queen, traffic is getting through, but there's a collision on the shoulder, so watch out for that. Eastbound on the QEW, approaching Guelph line, MTO crews have now moved over to the right shoulder. That looks like the road repairs that they were doing through there have wrapped up, but it's backed up Toronto-bound QEW from Fairview to Guelph line. Westbound on the Gardner, approaching the 427, the right lane is blocked. This is because of a stalled truck. A heavy tow is there, and it's slow going westbound Gardner Gardner from Jarvis to west of Strawn, then it's jammed from Parkside to the 427. Westbound on the QEW, that's busy from Ford Drive to Trafalgar Road. Other than that, it's doing well. Westbound on the 401, looking at delays from the 404 to Avenue Road, alternately express and collectors. Slows again from the Allen to Kiel express and collectors. Another delay from the 400 express to Dixon, and then it's backed up from the 410 and the collectors to Mavis. For everyone's safety, when driving or walking near rapid transit construction, be alert, be safe, slow down. Safety is a shared responsibility. A reminder from Viva Next. And now with the forecast and another reminder that it's going to be getting dark very quickly. Natasha.
How about 5:04 p.m.? That's the sunset time. That's like 2 hours from now. Can you imagine that? This is when the sun is going down. Now, we're going to run into a few showers this evening, right around 8, 9 p.m. Really light. Otherwise, it's going to be mainly cloudy, down to a mild low of 6 degrees, back up to 8 tomorrow under a mix of sun and cloud. It's also going to be windy tomorrow out of the west, up to 60 kilometers per hour. Tonight, we're down to a low of 6 degrees. It is now 11 degrees at Pearson.
680 News Time, 3:03.
With breaking news from Etobicoke, a man fighting for his life after being shot in broad daylight right across from Sherway Gardens.
680's Mark Douglas joins us live from the Queensway and North Queen Street with the latest. Mark.
Laura, another daytime shooting in Toronto has put a man in hospital with life-threatening injuries. Happened a bit before 1 this afternoon here in the parking lot of this small Staples Plaza across the street from Sherway Gardens. This man, Hal, was eating in a restaurant when he heard at least 3 shots in rapid succession, and then he saw a man run into the restaurant and out to the back without stopping or asking for any help. Hal went outside to see a man lying on the ground bleeding.
Obviously a long time. I was told he was shot in the chest and the legs. He was just moaning. There was nothing coherent.
Now, he says 2 women were kneeling there beside the victim trying to help him. Toronto police say the shooter fled the scene in a vehicle. Back here in the parking lot, a black 4-door car has been specifically taped off. It is likely the victim's car, but police cannot say at this time one way or the other. No word yet on what motivated this shooting or any description of suspects or a suspect vehicle. The forensic identification team has now arrived here at the scene. From Queensway and North Queen, I'm Mark Douglas.
It's just in the 680 News. The union representing Ontario's elementary teachers has requested a no board report that triggers a 17-day countdown to possible job action. The ETFO president made the announcement moments ago after he said no progress was made today between the union and the province. Stay with 680 for more on this story.
Meantime, the union representing the province's education support staff says about 8 in 10 members voted in favor of a new deal. The 55,000 workers narrowly avoided a strike in early October when the CUPE bargaining team reached an 11th hour tentative deal with the province. Here's 680's Casey Taylor.
79% voting to ratify the deal, suggesting while it's acceptable, it's far from perfect. CUPE Ontario's president Fred Hahn says the main point of contention remains compensation.
Workers throughout the education system cannot continue to have their wages fall against inflation. In the long term, that isn't acceptable and it isn't sustainable.
The union asking for a 2% raise, but agreeing to one. Movement Education Minister Stephen Lecce says he now wants to see from teachers.
When we're talking for teachers unions and their focus is on, for example, increasing compensation and benefits, I just think at a time when there are limited funds around, I want to make sure that we're able to reinvest more money in the front line.
Accusing the secondary teachers who are currently mid-strike vote in particular of being unwilling to budge. I'm Casey Taylor.
680 News Time 3:06. The Green Party is turning the page. Elizabeth May is stepping down as leader effective immediately, and she's appointed the deputy leader as her successor. Here's 680 Charlene Close.
Timing is everything for Elizabeth May, especially with the current minority government situation.
I'm very excited about this. I wanted to choose a moment when we had had a lot of success before leaving.
The 65-year-old has been leader for 13 years. Our political affairs specialist John Stoll is on the West Coast, just outside of May's riding of Saanich.
This is green territory, of course, on Canada's extreme west coast. And the Gulf Islands being so pristine, her environmental reflections has certainly, propelled her to the most popular politician in this part of Canada.
Deputy Leader Joanne Roberts will take over until the leadership convention next October. I'm Charlene Close. This news segment brought to you by Braystone Estates. It was all smiles and handshakes as the Premier and Mayor got together today to talk transit. 680's Momin Qureshi joins us with word of what appears to be a good start on a new working relationship.
When you think back to where Premier Ford and Mayor Tory were just over a year ago, it's really interesting to see where they're at now. All smiles on a GO Train platform, having just signed a brand new transit deal. Mayor Tory says things have changed.
I think our relationship between the two governments is at a different place than it was some time ago, and I hope it can continue in this place as opposed to other places it might have gone, because that's what the public expect of us.
Well, the Premier says things have been toned down at Queen's Park.
And if we don't get it right 1,000% of the time, then we're going to work with the groups to make sure we get it right. And honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with sitting back, listening, and making a decision.
In Mimico, I'm Momin Qureshi.
680 News Time 307, the SIU investigating after a man suspected of killing two people in Hamilton over the weekend was found dead in a hotel room in Brantford. The Special Investigations Unit called in after 35-year-old David Thompson was found dead this morning. Officers with Hamilton and Brantford police had surrounded the motel. He was one of the deaths of a 32-year-old woman and 62-year-old man who were found dead in Hamilton on Saturday.
Toronto police say one of the suspects from last week's brazen shooting at a North York apartment building near Black Creek Drive and Trethewey is now under arrest. Video showing 3 suspects in total, 2 of them opening a stairwell door and firing dozens of shots down the hallway. 5 teens were hurt. Toronto police say a 20-year-old man now facing at least 16 charges, including 5 for attempted murder.
At this time, this is an active and ongoing investigation, and we currently have one man, Andre Cunningham, 20 years of age, of Toronto, arrested.
Toronto police continue to search for the second shooter and a third person also believed to have been with them.
Coming up in 30 seconds, latest problems on the streets, and we'll take a peek at the pubs.
680 News Time 309.
This is 680 News.
Hello, Wesley.
The Braystone Pets.
Hello, bees.
The Bray-
Police seized 250 guns, 200,000 rounds of ammo from Kitchener home. A 57-year-old man in Kitchener faces charges after police seized 250 guns and 200,000 rounds of ammunition from his home. Waterloo Regional Police say the man was properly licensed for the guns, but they allege he did not store them properly. Police say they received information about the man's guns and raided his house last Thursday. Like same day, really? Spokeswoman Sherry Greeno says officers seized a mix of firearms from rifles to shotguns to handguns. She says they also seized a grenade, but testing proved it did not contain explosives. Greeno says the investigation is ongoing and further charges are expected. There's my feel-good story of the day. Somebody out there had 250 guns and 200,000 rounds of ammunition. That's my feel-good story of the day. And everything else I read, they just fucking said out loud.
Attention before someone else dies. Learn more at toronto.ca/vision zero.
Nice.
That's toronto.ca/vision zero.
Holiday excitement starts at Best Buy with the best tech gifts. This week, save $200 on JBL noise-canceling headphones. Only $99.99. Get exciting gifts for everyone on your list at Best Buy and bestbuy.ca.
680 News Time 311.
Traffic and weather together all at once now with Toronto's most frequent traffic reports. Hi, Carrie.
Hello. This report is brought to you by Transat. Well, a lot of people wishing they could say goodbye to this delay on the northbound 400, but alas, it is still there. Northbound 400 jams solid from approaching Rutherford to north of Major Mackenzie. MTO crews are doing a rolling block to north of Teston. They're clearing away some debris. A dump truck lost some dirt all over the roadway.
do it while they're
So that's
moving.
what's going on there. Northbound 400
Street
again.
sweeper, right.
Packed solid now from just north of Langstaff to north of Major Mackenzie. If you're traveling the northbound Don Valley Parkway 404, it's busy with volume from Bloor to north of Lawrence. Also getting busy from the 407 to north of 16th Avenue. Westbound on the 401, that's slow from about Bayview, alternately Express and Collectors to Avenue. Another delay westbound 401 from the Allen to Key Peel Express and Collectors. Then it's slow from the 400 in the Express to Dixon. Also very heavy westbound 401 from the 410 and the Collectors to west of Mavis. Westbound on the Gardner, you'll find a slow go from Jarvis to west of Strawn, then very heavy from approaching Parkside all the way to the 427. Westbound Gardner, just before the 427, the right lane is blocked, and that's because of a stalled truck. It stalled out just before 1:30 this afternoon. Shortly thereafter, a heavy tow arrived on the scene, and it's still there. It's finally hooked up now, but that took a long time. Northbound on the 410, you're going to find that busy from Steeles to north of Queen. Last we heard from traffic spotters, still had a crash on the right shoulder. Eastbound on the 401, that's busy approaching Mississauga Road to Mavis. Then delays from the 427 to the 400 Express and Collectors. Also slow eastbound 401 from the Allen to Bayview and the Express, from Bayview to Leslie and the Collectors, and delays building from Westney to east of Salem. Transat's Family Time promo is on now. Save up to 40% on South packages if you book by November 17th. Book at transat.com. Transat, vacation is calling. And now with the forecast, here's Natasha Ramsahide.
Yeah, let's go south. Wind chills in the minus double digits this weekend. Anywho, over to tonight, we've got mainly cloudy skies, down to low 7 degrees. If you're out and about around 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., we'll get into a few isolated showers this evening. And then tomorrow should be dry through the day, a mix of sun and cloud. It's windy out of the west with a high of 8 degrees. Enjoy it because it continuously gets colder as the week goes on. Wednesday morning, some sun, and then increasing clouds with a high of 5 degrees. And then rain moves in Wednesday evening, but we'll start mixing it in with some wet snow across the north of GTA late Wednesday night. Overnight tonight, we're down to low of 7 degrees. It is now 11 degrees at Pearson.
680 News Time, 3:13.
Now 680 News, Mark a minute, Richard Southern.
Hey, James, TSX remains up 80 points. Holding pretty steady, adding 0.5%. Wall Street looks set to notch new records at the closing bell today. The Dow's up 77 points. S&P gains 12, 0.3%. The Nasdaq up 44. Oil comfortably above $56 per barrel. Gold is down $1 at $1,510 US the ounce. And the Canadian dollar with a small pullback down to 76.04 cents US. That's your market minute. This is 680 News.
Green Park and Starling are proud to bring beauty to life. Your life. Welcome to Mountain View Heights, an oasis community in beautiful Escarpment country, featuring modern singles in the heart of Waterdown, nestled within a rich network of parks and trails, and featuring amenities and transit options. Waterdown is only 10 minutes from Oakville and offers savings of $300,000 to $600,000. Buy now. Only a few lots remain. Visit mountainviewheights.ca.
I'm bending over backwards to show you the flexibility of Meridian's one-year cashable GIC. It has a 2.5% interest rate of maturity and no penalty for cashing out at any time. Talk to a Meridian advisor today. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm Joey Rand, lead judge of St. Michael's Hospital's Angel's Den, Canada's hottest medical research competition. 8 teams of scientists will wow us as they pitch for $500,000 in funding. Live stream and vote on November 13th at angelsden.ca.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. Cloudy skies in downtown Toronto, 12 degrees at Pearson. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm James Monroe.
And I'm Laura Carney. Here are the top stories this hour.
With breaking news from Etobicoke, a man in critical condition after being shot near Sherway Gardens. Police say they were called to the Queensway, North Queen, just before 1 o'clock for reports of a person firing a gun multiple times. 2 suspects reportedly fled in a vehicle. 680 News is there. Breaking news from the province's elementary teachers. Their union has requested a no board report that would trigger a 17-day countdown to a possible job action. The TFO says no progress was made today between the union and the province.
680 News Time, 3:15. Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet, 590 fan, Alex 60. First move to address the starting rotation. Toronto has traded a minor leaguer to the Milwaukee Brewers for Chase Anderson, who is a little homer prone, but has compiled a 3.63 ERA over the last 3 seasons combined. Chase also exercising Anderson's $8.5 million option for 2020. Maple Leafs will host the LA Kings tomorrow night. Jake Muzzin says he is ready to rock after sitting out Saturday night. John Tavares is hoping it'll mark his return to the lineup. Real good one tonight on Sportsnet. It's the Bruins taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins at 7 o'clock. QMJHL getting the first shot at the Russians. The Canada-Russian series will begin tonight from St. John, New Brunswick, 7 p.m. on Sportsnet 1. Raptors head coach
coach Nick Nurse says Patrick McCaw is out indefinitely. The guard undergoing further testing on his injured knee. Raptors host Sacramento Wednesday. And East Rutherford, the scene for the NFL Monday Nighter between the Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys have won 5 straight against New York. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Sports brought to you by Napoleon, 680 News Time 317.
Do me a favor. Can you turn the Napoleon on?
Fireplace?
No.
Barbecue?
No, the Napoleon furnace. It's so cold, the dog is wearing the cat.
Wait, Napoleon makes furnaces?
Yep, and they're made in the snow belt, right up there in Barrie. Built for Canadian winters and to the same high standards as their barbecues.
So you have a Napoleon for every season.
Yep, the ultimate Canadian home.
Trust Napoleon to keep your home warm in the winter and cool in the summer. And for a limited time, play spin to win for a chance to win your furnace. Check it out at NapoleonHeating.com. The following is a message from SEIU Healthcare.
My friends, change has come to Ontario. My deep cuts to healthcare are making sure there are fewer caregivers, worse conditions in long-term care, bigger backlogs for home care, and this year, record wait times in hospitals. My friends, let's ignore my cuts to healthcare and focus on cheaper beer.
He might not have said it, but he's doing it. A message from SEIU Healthcare, the people on the front line of care.
680 News Time 318.
York Regional Police investigating in the area of Major Mackenzie and Bayview Avenue after a cell phone store was robbed. This constable says it happened just after 2 o'clock.
There were 4 suspects that entered the store armed with knives. They tied up the employees and stole a number of cell phones from the store and fled the area.
When you call 911?
Employees were injured. The search continues for the suspects. A battle in New York over U.S. President Trump's tax returns now appears headed to Supreme Court.
A federal appeals panel has ruled the returns can be turned over to state criminal investigators. Prosecutors in Manhattan want the president's tax records from 2011 on in a bigger probe that includes hush money payments during the 2016 race. The appeals court has upheld a lower court ruling rejecting the president's bid to keep the records from being handed over. His lawyer argued last month the president's immune from criminal law even if he shoots somebody because he's the president. Lead Judge Robert Katzman ended that hearing by saying the case was likely bound for an appeal before the Supreme Court.
We have the feeling that you may be seeing each other again in Washington.
Sagar Meghani, Washington.
In Central California, the hunt is on for 2 gang members who've escaped county jail. They're considered armed and extremely dangerous.
Nobody even knew the men had broken out until their jail uniforms were found outside. How they got out hasn't been immediately clear to the Monterey County Sheriff's Department. Under Sheriff John Manu says they began looking for the 2 men when a count turned up 2 missing.
In our morning inmate count, one of the deputies discovered that 2 of the inmates that should have been present in the dorm were gone.
The 2 escapees, Santos Fonseca and Jonathan Salazar, both 19 years old and now on the run. Alex Stone, EBC News.
And Milwaukee officials are denouncing an acid attack on a Latino-American citizen last week. The police are calling it a hate crime. The man suffered second-degree burns to his face after a white man allegedly approached him in front of a restaurant, told him he didn't belong in the country, and threw acid on him. One suspect has been arrested. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together is 680 News Time 320.
Need more dough for your bakery? ThinkingCapital.ca/radio. Want to give your beauty salon a makeover?
ThinkingCapital.ca/radio.
Does your auto shop need a boost?
ThinkingCapital.ca/radio.
Whatever small business you run, they can help. Apply for a small business loan today at ThinkingCapital.ca/radio. You could receive up to $300,000 in as little as 24 hours.
The fuck small business is $300,000?
It's just that easy. There are printers, then there are smart printers that actually do it all. Staples presents HP OfficeJet Pros, all-in-one printers that are dependable, fast, and smart. For a limited time, save up to $160 on select HP OfficeJet Pros. Plus, bring in your old printer and save an additional $40 exclusively at Staples. Now is the time to buy HP OfficeJet Pro until November 5th. Staples. Work, learn, grow.
680 News Time, 321.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Now with Toronto's most frequent traffic reports. Here's Carrie Pruskus.
This report is brought to you by Walmart. Northbound on the 400, north of Major Mackenzie, all lanes have reopened. Debris has all been swept away, but we still have a heavy backup northbound 400 from Langstaff to north of Major Mackenzie. Really jammed through that stretch. Also, MTO reporting some emergency construction northbound on the 400 and Highway 89 in the left lane, so watch out for that. There's not much of a delay there. If you're traveling the northbound Don Valley Parkway 404, it's busy from north of Gerard to north of Lawrence. Also getting slow from the 407 to north of 16th Avenue. Eastbound on the 401, that's busy from Mississauga Road to Mavis. Another delay through Dixie and the collectors. Then it's heavy from Dixon to the 400, both express and collectors. After that, looks like delays are building from the Allen to Leslie, alternately express and collectors. You get a break and then it slows again from Warden to Kennedy in the collectors. And now busy from approaching Westney to east of Salem. Another delay just east of Dixon. Westbound 401, that's busy across the city from Leslie to Avenue Road, alternately express and collectors. Then busy sections from the Allen, alternately express and collectors to Dixon. Also a slow go westbound 401 from the 410 and the collectors to Mavis. Westbound on the Gardner, finally that stalled truck approaching the 427 has cleared away, but it's backed up now the whole way westbound Gardner from the DVP all the way to the 427. Westbound on the QEW, at the moment it's still moving well through Mississauga, but keep in mind that backup from the westbound Gardner, oopsie daisy, is now going to make its way on to the westbound QEW. Good thing I had a lid on that water. Westbound QEW slows again from Ford Drive to west of Trafalgar, and another delay from Bronte to west of Guelph Line. With Walmart's guaranteed unbeatable low prices, save $5.20 on 2.21 liters of Tide detergent. Now only $7.77. Walmart, save money, live better. And now with the extended forecast, here's Natasha Ramsahai.
Winter boot sales, yeah, they're on right now. You may need them as you head toward the end of this week. Now it's gradually getting colder throughout the week. Tonight we're down to 7 degrees. I've got a slight chance of some showers right around 9 p.m. Otherwise, 8 degrees tomorrow. A mix of sun and clouds. Should stay dry here in the city. Slight chance for showers off to the north. Gusty west wind tomorrow. Then Wednesday starts off nice, sunshine, increase in cloud and 5 degrees. Wednesday evening will bring in the rain, and then overnight mix that in with some wet snow, and that's what's going to be in place for the Thursday morning commute. Some wet snow to start. Will be drier through the afternoon with a high of just 2 degrees, wind chill -2, but possibly more flurries, snow, and slick conditions for Friday morning as we wake up to wind chills near -11. Overnight tonight, we're down to a low of 7 degrees. It is now 11 degrees at Pearson.
Coming at the bottom of the hour, we have 2 stories breaking this afternoon. A man in critical condition after being shot near Sherway Gardens. And the province's Elementary Teachers Union has requested a no-board report. We'll tell you what that could mean for families straight ahead.
680 News Time,
Tell me what the
324.
fuck it means.
This November, here's to the straggling mustaches, the lopsided ones, the oddly sexy ones,
You think I won't go to the internet? Oh, I fucking will.
the hey, I look good.
What is a no-board
The
report?
scruffy ones, the black, blonde, red, and gray ones, the ones grown by dad, the ones grown for dad.
Oh.
They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because wherever you grow, we'll save a bro. Sign up now at Movember.com.
When news breaks, the 680 News Cruiser is there, covering the story live from the scene.
24/7 in your community.
The 680 News Cruiser.
Powered by Don Valley North Toyota.
Breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
Sports and the News brought to you by Northern Financial Group. Coming up in 60 seconds, the first market action of the week.
680 News Time, 325.
Let's be honest, you're probably overpaying for your company's health and dental plan. Hi, I'm Louis Carnavelli, president of Northern Financial Group. And after decades of seeing the same cookie-cutter approach to companies' health and dental plans, we've created something truly unique. We pool thousands of members for greater purchasing power. That allows us to offer health and dental plans starting at $55 a month per employee. So if you run a business with 300 to 300 employees, visit northernfinancialgroup.ca, where $55 goes a long way. Your employees will thank you.
You can now buy your Lotto 649 and Lotto Max tickets at every lane in select grocery stores. Honey, the other lines are moving way faster.
Yeah, but since lottery tickets and groceries are a perfect pair, just like you and me, I'm sticking with checkout 5. It's our number.
Why is 5 our number?
It's our anniversary.
You think it's the 5th?
Yeah.
Then maybe we'd be better off at lane 7.
Lane 7, here we come.
Yep, now you can buy your Lotto 649 and Lotto Max tickets at every checkout lane. Which lane will you play? 680
680 News Time, 326.
Now, 680 Business Reports. Happy Monday, Richard Southern.
Happy Monday, James. 1 year ago, 1 year from today, we're going to know the results of the next U.S. presidential election. It's 1 year ago yesterday that we're expecting the U.S. vote to take place, and more respected forecasts are predicting that U.S. presidential election won't even be close. 3 respected forecasts now say it's going to be Trump in an absolute landslide. Moody's was the first to predict that 3 weeks ago, and now Yale University and Oxford Economics agree with that prediction. All cite steady economic growth in the United States, a historically tight labor market, and limited inflation as the reasons why Trump will be swept back into office. Though Yale cautions that Democrats may have a better chance if there's a recession in 2020, though analysis at Oxford sees Trump winning the popular vote by 5 points even in the event of a recession. These forecasts all challenge some opinion polls which show Trump's disapproval rating hovering around 54% amid an impeachment inquiry. So interesting talk there, as again, we are exactly a year away from that U.S. presidential election. Trump loves to talk about the Wall Street stock market, and I believe he was doing so again on Twitter today because it's on record. The Dow's up 83 points, all-time high at 27,430. S&P up 9, also in record territory, and the NASDAQ gains 45 points right now. TSX also higher, it's up 83 points, or half of 1%. Bosch Health has raised its full-year guidance and profit as it says it had a pretty good 3 months as it opened up its books for the latest quarter, and Bosch Health shares are up 1.3% at $34.49. It's a stock that's up 36% this year. Interesting news from sports car maker Ferrari. It says it's starting a fashion collaboration with Giorgio Armani. The move is part of a long-awaited strategy to squeeze more value out of its brand by spreading it to other sectors. The CEO of Ferrari told analysts that he aims to have 10% of earnings before interest taxes from 3 new areas, including fashion. Price of gold is down. This is the Express Gold Refining XAU.ca gold price update. It's dropping just 40 pennies right now to $1,511 US the ounce. And the Canadian dollar down to 76.03 cents US. Top stories, including some potentially big news on a teacher strike that could be looming next on 680 News.
You run a small business. You've got good people working for you. But the reality is you spend most of your time on paperwork, invoicing, and chasing payments. But it doesn't have to be that way. Meet Sage Accounting Software. Secure, safe, and trusted. You can take care of invoicing on the road, banking at the office, and cash flow from home. Work where you want, when you want. It's simple, efficient, and makes accounting a breeze, allowing business owners to do more of what they love. Get all the details at sage.com/smallbusiness.
At Canadian Men's Clinic, we've treated erectile dysfunction for 22 years. The big difference is we are patient-focused, not profit-focused. Our acoustic wave therapy can provide a cure for some men and costs only $99, while other clinics offer the exact same treatment for 5 times as much. Plus, some of our options cost as little as $5, and there's no consultation fee to see a doctor for ED. Find us at mensclinic.com or call 1-888-636-7377.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by Park and Fly. Start your trip at Park and Fly Valet and give your car that optional detailing or oil change it needs all while you're away. Let Park and Fly help you free up your weekend. Visit parkandfly.ca for details. Edmonton flurries, a high of -1. Winnipeg snow, high of -4. Los Angeles sunny and 26. Clouds in downtown Toronto.
-26.
And it's 3:30.
Motherfucker. That's a 30-degree difference.
Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are James Monroe and Laura Carney.
Good afternoon. This is Monday, November 4th.
Here's the breaking news right now.
A man has suffered life-threatening injuries in the latest shooting in Toronto in broad daylight. This time it happened across the street from Sherway Gardens.
The Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario starts the strike countdown, requesting a no board report as negotiations continue to go nowhere.
What a difference a year can make.
I personally think we have a great working relationship.
After a somewhat tumultuous 12 months, Mayor Tory and Premier Ford seem to have buried the hatchet, preaching a message of unity.
Zach Hyman is making some strides. The Blue Jays have acquired Chase Anderson. And does Josie Altidore have any chance of playing at the MLS Cup Finals? Sports at 45.
Half an hour ahead of the end of the trading day in Wall Street trades and records territory. The TSX picks up 80 points. Business at 56.
6 News Time 3:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Prinskus. This report is brought to you by Appleby College. I'm looking at a new problem on the westbound 401, just west of Kiel and the Collectors. The right lane is blocked. It looks like a stalled transport truck and a heavy tow on the scene. And the westbound 401, it's backed up from the 404, alternately Express and Collectors, to this problem just west of Kiel. A brief improvement, then it's slow again from about the 400 Express and Collectors to Dixon. Also quite heavy westbound 401 from the 410 and the Collectors to Mavis. Eastbound 401, that's busy approaching Mississauga Road to Mavis, a delay through Dixie and the Collectors. Then it's slow across the city from east of the 427 to Leslie, alternately Express and Collectors. You'll find delays again eastbound 401 from Wharton to Kennedy and the Collectors, from Westney to east of Salem, and busy through Sixton. Northbound on the 400, that's still quite heavy from Langstaff to north of Teston. Had some earlier issues north of Major Mackenzie. Traveling the northbound 410, that's busy from Steeles to north of Queen, and delays are building on the northbound 427 as you approach Rexdale to Finch. Eastbound on the QEW, a bit busy as you head through Guelph line, but beyond that, it's not doing too badly. The eastbound Gardner looks pretty good heading into downtown as well. Westbound on the Gardner, we had some earlier problems approaching the 427, so it's still very heavy westbound Gardner from the DVP right through to the 427, and delays are building westbound QEW from the 427 to west of Cawthra, from Ford Drive to west of Trafalgar, and from Bronte to west of Guelph line. Learn more about Appleby College at their final open house of 2019 on Saturday, November 16th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or visit appleby.on.ca. And now with the forecast, here's Natasha Ransahai.
All right, if you are at around 8, 9 p.m. tonight, a few more showers return to the GTA, just very briefly for a couple of hours. Otherwise, mainly cloudy tonight, down to 7 degrees. Tomorrow, back up to 8 degrees. We'll be under a mix of sun and cloud. It is going to be windy out of the west, up to 60 kilometers per hour, and it progressively gets colder each day as this week goes on. Overnight tonight, we're down to a low of 7 degrees. It is now a balmy 12 degrees at Pearson.
6 News Time 3:33.
Breaking news from Etobicoke, where there's been another brazen daylight shooting. This one happening in a plaza right across the street from Sherway Gardens, sending one man to hospital with life-threatening injuries.
6 Mark Douglas joins us live from the scene with the latest. Mark.
James, it was a bit before 1 this afternoon when this man, Hal, heard at least 3 shots fired from what he believes must have been an automatic weapon. Next thing he knows, a man is running into and through the restaurant where he's just been sitting having a nice lunch.
He didn't run in and ask for help. I mean, he'd been shot at, not hit, and he's trying to get the hell out of Dodge.
Hal went outside and saw a man lying in the parking lot bleeding. His head was up on the curb of the sidewalk near the UPS store. 2 women were kneeling there trying to help. One of the women apparently told Hal that the victim had been shot in the chest and the legs. No comment about that yet from Toronto police, but they do say the shooter fled the scene in a vehicle and the victim suffered life-threatening injuries. No suspect descriptions or vehicle descriptions at this time. Most of the parking lot of this plaza across the street from Sherway Gardens has been taped off. Police have also taped off a specific vehicle in the parking lot, a 4-door black Audi, possibly the victim's car. No word yet on any possible motive for this attack.
Bullet holes in the car. Is the car okay?
Where every store in this little plaza certainly has a security camera facing outwards. At Queensway in North Queen, I'm Mark Douglas.
Breaking news from the province's public elementary teachers. They are one step closer to being in a legal strike position. 680's Caitlin Lee joins us live with the latest. Caitlin, Laura, the ETFO announcing this afternoon, and it has requested a no board report from the Minister of Labor as negotiations for public school teachers and education workers are still stalling. It may take several days for that report to be received, but once it is, it gives the province and the union 17 days to come to an agreement before elementary school teachers are in a legal strike position. A statement issued to ETFO members says the hope is it will not come to that, and this report will provide incentives for those at the bargaining table to, quote, approach central table discussions seriously. The ETFO represents over 80,000 people working at public elementary secondary schools. 680 News has reached out to the ETFO president, Sam Hammond, for comment, but basically all this means public Ontario school teachers could walk off the job before December. Reporting live, I'm Caitlin Lee.
Meantime, school support staff have ratified their new deal. Here's 680's Casey Taylor.
79% in favor, certainly not unanimous, even getting the support from all locals. CUPE Ontario President Fred Hahn saying the support that did rally around them pressured the government to pull back.
It was because our communities came together that we were able to push back against the Ford Conservatives' plan to take away vital services and achieve an agreement.
But Education Minister Stephen Lecce says CUPE also budged, accepting a 1% raise instead of the 2% they wanted.
We also, both parties were able to restore some additional support to the classroom for kids with exceptional
about more
needs.
money?
Lecce saying he hopes the teachers union, secondary schools in particular, continue to negotiate their own new contracts with students, not compensation, as the focus. I'm Casey Taylor.
680 News Time, 3:37. She has been the face of the Green Party for more than a decade. Now Elizabeth May says she is stepping down as leader. 680 Charlene Close reports. The 65-year-old says she's fulfilled the promise she made to her daughter.
I'm very excited to know that I'll have time with my husband and time with my daughter and my extended family.
May says the party has to be ready for anything because of the uncertainty involving a minority government. Our political affairs specialist John Stoll is in green territory on the Gulf Islands in BC, where May is considered a local hero.
Even though she wasn't able to increase the Green seat in the House of Commons as much as she wanted to or hoped would be the case, she expanded it a bit. It's a long fight.
Deputy Leader Joanne Roberts will lead on an interim basis with the leadership convention set to take place next October. I'm Charlene Close.
680 News Time, 3:37. Mayor Tory and Premier Ford talking transit today in a decidedly different tone between the two. Here's 680's Mama Qureshi.
It wasn't too long ago that Premier Ford and Mayor Tory were trading verbal jabs on subjects like reducing the size of city council or the province taking control of the subway system. But now, here they are, standing side by side, smiling, talking about a partnership to build out Toronto's transit system. Ford admits things have changed.
I think we've toned it down at Queen's Park. We have to make sure we work together, we listen, especially with the country. We got to unify this country.
Mayor Tory actually commending the Premier.
I think our relationship between the two governments is at a different place than it was some time ago, and I hope it can continue in this place as opposed to other places it might have gone, because that's what the public expect of us.
In Etobicoke, I'm Oman Qureshi.
A man found dead in a Brantford hotel early this morning is the same man wanted for a double murder on Hamilton's Central Mountain. Hamilton police confirming the link today, saying 35-year-old David Thompson was found dead after officers surrounded his hotel room. Thompson was accused of killing 32-year-old Cheryl Nickel and 62-year-old Donald Lowe, both of Hamilton, who were found dead in a townhouse around midnight on Saturday. The province's police watchdog is investigating. Coming up at 3:41, traffic and weather together on the ones.
680 News Time, 3:39.
Valspar pours the right stuff into every can for the right reasons. Only until Wednesday, get 25% off gallon cans of Valspar Reserve Paint at Lowe's. Proven performance and guaranteed color. With Valspar, when you do it right, you can't go wrong. Get it at Lowe's.
City streets West Bend Finch remains closed from Signet to Weston for vehicle fire cleanup. It is slow from Jane, and emergency crews on scene of a crash on Keel north of Wilson, causing major delays in both directions. Now, the 680 News gas price update. Empro predicts the price of gas will not change at midnight, holding at $1.18.9 a liter at most GTA stations.
680 News Time, 3:40.
There's a reason you look people in the eyes when you shake their hand. A reason you don't like being late for meetings. And hate missing deadlines. It's why you put your customers first and pick your partners wisely. Because you know, in business, reputation is everything. Trust your reputation to FedEx for all of your international shipping needs. Express, ground, and freight. Visit FedEx.ca/reason. FedEx, connecting people and possibilities.
OFX are global money transfer specialists, helping individuals and businesses move money in 55 currencies. OFX is on a mission to lead the age of borderless money by combining a streamlined digital experience, 24/7 human support, and competitive rates. Whether you are sending money to family abroad, paying for overseas purchases, or just want to hang on to more of your money as it travels
office around the world. Learn more at OFX.com or simply download the OFX app. It's how the world moves money.
6 News Time 341.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Prenskus. This report is brought to you by Pfizer Canada. Westbound on the 401, west of Keel and the Collectors, the right lane is blocked. It's because of a stalled transport truck. It's a slow go across the city westbound 401 from the 404, alternately Express and Collectors to Dixon. And then delays again westbound 401 from the 427 to approaching Dixie and the Collectors. Then it's jammed from the 410 and the Collectors to west of Mavis, also filling in from the 407 to west of Trafalgar Road. Westbound on the Gardner, you'll find a very busy drive from the DVP all the way to the 427. That's where we had some earlier problems. And then westbound QEW, that's filling in from the 427 to Huron, Ontario. Delays again, Ford Drive to west of Trafalgar, and busy sections from Bronte to west of Guelph Line. Westbound 403, that's a slow go through Mississauga as you head from Eglinton and the Collectors to west of Huron, Ontario. Northbound on the 427, that's filling in approaching Rexdale up to Finch, and coming into the city eastbound on the Gardner, that's busy from Spadina to Cherry. Northbound Don Valley Parkway 404, delays from Gerrard to north of Lawrence and from approaching Steeles to north of 16th Avenue. Northbound 400, that's heavy from Highway 7 to north of Teston. And FTO reporting construction northbound on the 400 at Highway 89, emergency road work apparently in the left lane through there, not really spotting any delays. So watch out for those crews if they're still on the scene. Eastbound on the 401, that's slow as you approach Mississauga Road to Mavis. And we have a new problem just popping up now eastbound on the 401. East of Dixie, and that transfer to the Express, the left lane is blocked, and that's because of a stalled vehicle. Already a slow go as you head through Dixie and the Collectors, and then it's jammed across the city from the 427 to Leslie, alternately Express and Collectors. Over 50, you may be at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. While getting your flu shot, ask about the Prevnar 13 vaccine. Visit Prevnar.ca to learn if it's right for you. And now with the forecast, here's Natasha Ransom.
All right, today was actually the warmest day of the week so far. We're at 12 degrees. Tonight we're down to low of 7. A few evening showers are likely here right around 9 p.m. Otherwise, tomorrow's going to be dry, a mix of sun and cloud, gusty out of the west, and a high of 8 degrees. Still clear Tuesday night, lots of sun for Wednesday morning, but increasing cloud through the afternoon. I'm also going to keep us dry, so you can leave the rain gear at home during the day on Wednesday with a high of 5. But rain returns Wednesday evening, and we'll start mixing with some wet snow overnight into the Thursday morning commute. Overnight tonight, we're down to a low of 7 degrees. It is now 12 degrees at Pearson.
680 News Time 343.
Now the 680 News Market Minute live for the Business Center. Richard Southern.
Or TSX remains higher. It is up 72 points right now, 0.4%, 16,667. Wall Street looks set to close fresh record highs. The Dow's up 85 points at 27,432.
for real?
9. The Nasdaq's up 44. Gold very little change to $1,510 the ounce, and the Canadian dollar down at 76.03 cents US. That's your market minute. This is 680 News.
Did you know you can get a breakfast sandwich at Tim Hortons anytime, morning, noon, or night? And for a limited time, try the new smoked sausage breakfast sandwich.
That motherfucker. So that one, I could have swore she said it was number 13, and the fucking TSX is at 16,667. Nice. 16667. Nice. Very nice. Someone's gonna hand me money today with a 666 in the serial number. I just know it's happened twice this year. Within about 5 months of each other, it happened twice. Spent as good as any other, but I didn't tell the people that's what I saw on the money. That's their problem. They didn't look at it before they took it from me. I'm not turning it back on. It'll be sports. Seniors home confines 94-year-old blind woman to bedbug-infested room for 2 weeks. Rita Bedford, 94, was kept confined to her apartment in a Chilliwack, BC senior care home for 2 weeks last December over the holidays while bedbugs multiplied on her mattress. She is blind, and if she's 94, it wouldn't matter if she could see them or not, eh? She's blind, and a staffer alleged in emails to provincial authorities that employees of the Cascades facility were ordered not to tell Bedford what was happening. But so disturbed by what she saw, the staffer took photos. Another took video, capturing bedbugs scurrying across Bedford's mattress, bloodstains, and bedbug carcasses on the floor. They sent the images to Bedford's daughter in Ottawa early in the new year. I couldn't believe my eyes, said Anne-Marie Burgun, recalling how she played the video several times, trying to absorb what she was seeing. I'm so grateful that the employees were willing to stand up for their beliefs, for doing the right thing, the moral thing. I could not believe that a facility in Canada would allow something so hideous to happen. Infuriating, yes, but not shocking, said Amani Oakley, a Toronto area lawyer who has battled nursing home chains for over 2 decades and who currently has several lawsuits underway against Cascades owner Sienna Senior Living, formerly Leisure World. Leisure World. We'll get to that. You can run my last name and you'll find it connected to Leisure World. I'm infuriated that we are still allowing these corporations to make money off our seniors while delivering shoddy care, Oakley said. Burgon was first contacted on December 20th, 2018 by the Cascades head nurse who was filling in for the vacationing executive director. She says she was told that a resident living next to her mother had brought bedbugs into the facility and that a single bedbug had been found on Bedford's bed. I assumed they knew what they were doing, said Burgon. I thought it would not be much of a big deal, but according to a timeline the home later provided to health authorities, employees had on December 19th found, quote, 10 small bite marks, end quote, on Bedford's back and arms, quote, blood spots on her bed, and, quote, 5 possible bed bugs on her floor. Staff were told to wash and change Bedford and a pest control company was brought in, though only the apartment next to hers was heat treated and vacuumed. According to the timeline, in Bedford's apartment, an ant trap was placed between her mattress and box spring. What the fuck? That doesn't do anything for bed bugs. After 2 weeks, on January 2nd, a Cascades employee complained to regulators with the Ministry of Health, reporting she and her colleagues were being instructed to keep Bedford confined to her room. Please help, the employee wrote in an email. It's inhumane. She claimed management told staff to lie to Bedford, that she was sick and couldn't visit with friends or share Christmas dinner with other residents. She also alleged management threatened to fire any staff who spoke publicly or to other residents about the outbreak. Are you fucking serious? I just can't do it any longer, the employee wrote, calling Bedford a blood buffet. This woman is 94 and blind, locked in a room being chewed up while management hides it. That same day, staff moved Bedford and her neighbor to new suites. Management later claimed in the timeline that they didn't have other rooms available until then. An employee secretly described what her mother had endured over the holidays, Bergen says. Quote, I was told of her crying and asking repeatedly, are these bugs crawling on my skin, she said. It broke my heart. I felt betrayed. Around then, Cascades Executive Director Rob White returned from vacation. Bergen says he told her that Sienna did not know how to handle the bedbug outbreak and says he repeatedly complained to her about the cost of dealing with it. The fuck? I had to listen to his concerns about how expensive this was and how much time it was taking him away from his job, Bergen said. White did not respond to Go Public's request for an interview. Oakley, the lawyer, says she hears so many complaints of neglected abuse involving Canada's 3 largest for-profit seniors homes that last year she filed a proposed class action suit involving 200 families. Is it Leisure World or Extendicare? No, I think it was Leisure World. The lawsuit, it doesn't matter. The lawsuit named Extendicare, which runs 96 homes across the country, Sienna, which operates 83, and Rivera, which runs 76. And these fucking places change names and owners all the fucking time, so it's the same fucking places. Oakley alleged the companies were, quote, systematically negligent, but the Ontario Superior Court of Justice discontinued the lawsuit, says Oakley, because the cases were too dissimilar. What? She is instead pursuing dozens of individual lawsuits on behalf of the families. None of the allegations has been proven in court, and all 3 companies deny the allegations have merit. Oakley says because privately owned chains receive provincial subsidies for some clients, government oversight needs to be rigorous. Quote, part of the problem is that government inspections tend to be announced, said Oakley, so they long-term care chains know when the inspectors are coming, weeks ahead of time. Go Public asked several provinces whether their inspections are announced or unexpected. Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario said some inspections are not announced while others are and happen every 1 to 2 years, more often if a complaint is reported or a problem found. Nova Scotia said all inspections are unannounced and happen at least twice a year. Inspections in BC were previously only triggered by complaints. New legislation that takes effect December 1st allows inspections at any time, but even when problems are discovered, Oakley says many homes are understaffed, and she often hears of one nurse being in charge of 60 people at nighttime. Getting justice can be a challenge. She says the courts don't place much value on the lives of elderly people who are no longer working. Quote, I've been told by a judge that I'm wasting his time because the case is financially modest, she said. Sienna Senior Living is a publicly traded company worth $1.25 billion in 2018. Well, I'm not buying into that stuff, but don't see it going up. Seniors Home not in compliance. Complaints to regulators from staff and Bergon led to an investigation and 2 reports in May and June, which found Cascades violated regulations, including not providing a, quote, safe and sanitary environment and not protecting residents by responding in a timely manner to allegations of, quote, abuse and neglect. The site was also found to not have sufficient staffing levels. As of last week, the home was still, quote, not in full compliance with health and safety standards, according to a Ministry of Health spokesperson, who added that officials had a recent meeting with Sienna to discuss outstanding issues and to ensure the company keeps working toward, quote, full compliance. Cascades management apologized in a letter to the family for the, quote, housekeeping inadequacies, miscommunications, and the overall experience. Sienna Senior Living declined an interview request by Go Public, sending a statement that said the company regrets what happened. Quote, our goal is to provide all tenants with the best possible quality service and overall retirement living experience through the warmth of human connection, wrote a spokesperson. Oh, fuck. We recognize that there were actions that should have been better. We have apologized and worked with the tenant and family to resolve their concerns. The spokesperson would not say why Bedford was left in her room for 2 weeks, nor comment on a staffer's allegation that management threatened to fire any staffers. Bergen decided it would be too disoriented to move her mother, who turned 95 in February, to another nursing home. She's worried that speaking out about the care her mom received will bring repercussions, but says she wants Sienna held accountable. We trust that Sienna are going to uphold their part of, not even the legal contract, but the social and moral contract, says Bergen. I'm appalled at how callous they were.
From the GO train. Tower 3 from the mid 300s. Register today at universalcitycondos.ca. That's universalcitycondos.ca.
The 680 News Insider Club. It pays to belong.
This week, you could win a $100 savings card to spend on over 23,000 products from TSC. Today's shopping choice. Shop a wide variety of the hottest home gadgets, clothing, beauty essentials, and even some sweet treats. Take advantage of their newest arrivals, today's showstopper offers, and more. There is something for everyone to enjoy at tsc.ca.
Visit 680news.com for your chance to win and to sign up for the Insider Club.
Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll check in with Richard Southern at the 680 Business Center.
680 News Time, 3:55.
When I opened my bakery, I was over the moon. But the constant paperwork brought me back down to earth. Then, things got easier when I opened the RBC Digital Choice Business Account Package with unlimited features like electronic debit and credit transactions, Moneris, and mobile check deposits. Now, I spend less time sifting through business transactions and more time sifting flour for my heavenly butter tarts.
Visit rbc.com/less hassle and make things easier with the RBC Digital Choice Business Account Package.
It's Sleep Country's 25th birthday, but right now you get the gift. As a thank you for 25 amazing years, you'll get a free $25 birthday promo card at any Sleep Country store. It's good for anything, including mattresses, headboards, and bedding like pillows, duvets, sheets, and more, with no minimum to spend. It's our gift to you, so get yours before November 12th. It's on now. Sleep Country, all for sleep. One card per person per transaction. Card expires November 12th, 2019. Cannot be combined with gift card purchases. Use in store or online. See in store for details.
680 News Time, 3:56.
Time now for the business report. Here's Richard Southern.
And Laura, pass it to Grandma. Seniors are now Canada's fastest growing group of cannabis users, according to new data from Stats Canada. Yes, the report says while seniors still use cannabis far less than any other age group, their consumption has been skyrocketing. Back in 2012, less than 1% of Canadian seniors, about 40,000, reported using cannabis. Researchers asked that same question again this year, and 400,000 seniors admitted to using it just within the past 3 months. Of seniors who do use, about 1 in 4 are new. 54% of seniors say they use cannabis exclusively for medical reasons. 24% say they use it for fun, and another 24% say they use it for both reasons, fun and medical. Cannabis stocks are starting the week higher on Bay Street. Canopy Growth shares are up 2.5% at $26.56. Aurora stock is up 1 1/3% at $4.75. And indeed, the TSX is going to close here with a win. In fact, we're at a 1-month high. Toronto Composite Index is up 72 points, about half of 1% at 16,665. Energy stocks particularly strong today as oil rose 34 cents to $56.54 per barrel on signs of a resolution perhaps on the China-U.S. Trade front dispute. Wall Street is going to close at fresh record highs. We're talking about all the indices here. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 102 points, 1/3% record at 27,448. S&P's up 9, NASDAQ up 42. And time now for the Express Gold Refining XAU.ca gold price update. It's down 70 cents. Gold's at $1,510 US the ounce. This is 680 News.
Discount travel sites say they have the best prices, but Hilton.com has the price match guarantee. Look me in the eye. If you find a better rate, they match it and take 25% off. Yeah, well, this is radio, so just stare at the radio. Hilton.com has the best prices. Pinky swear. Or, radio swear. Plus, you can choose your exact room and get free Wi-Fi. Cross my heart, stick a needle in my radio. Expect better. Expect Hilton.
Must be a Hilton Honors member. Applicable terms and conditions at Hilton.com. Pinky swear.
Weather.
It's all about the numbers. And if we're off by more than 3 degrees,
you can win our cash jackpot.
A number that continues to grow.
Enter at 680news.com.
Obstacles and mortgages go together like first dates and spaghetti. Especially if you've been through a bankruptcy, consumer proposal, or debt settlement. Remember the name Duga. Jaspreet Duga and his team have options for you. Alternative mortgages, private mortgages. Jaspreet Duga works for you, not the lenders. So you get the best terms and rates. Get started today at dugamortgages.ca. That's DHUGGA mortgages.ca. And tear down those obstacles. License 12880.
Making your smart speaker even smarter.
Hey Google, play 680 News.
Playing 680 News.
Now 680 News regional weather conditions for Marquee Jewelers. Marquee Jewelers are closing their doors forever. Get up to 70% off select merchandise at their closing sale today.
Really?
2 Bloor Street West inside the Cumberland Terrace.
In Brampton, a few clouds and 11 degrees. It's mostly cloudy and 11 in Ajax. In Ancaster this hour, mostly cloudy and 10 degrees. In Guelph, it is overcast and 10. Hamilton, overcast and 10 degrees. Milton, mostly cloudy and 11. In Vaughan this hour, partly cloudy and 10 degrees. Oshawa, mostly cloudy and 11. In Oakville, it is mostly cloudy, 11 degrees. A few clouds and 10 degrees in Richmond Hill. And right now, downtown, it is mostly cloudy and 11 degrees. This is CFTR 680 News, 680 News time, 4 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather.
There's 100 floors in this building.
Here are James Monroe and Laura Carney.
Good afternoon. It's Monday, November 4th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
Shots ring out over the noon hour in Etobicoke.
Bam, bam, bam. It's an automatic among what's possible.
One man left bleeding in a parking lot across the street from Sherway Gardens.
Public elementary school teachers in Ontario could walk off the job before the end of the month. The union asking for a no board report as contract talks keep stalling.
School support staff vote to ratify their union's new deal with the province, but at just 79%, it's far from a full-throated approval.
The Blue Jays have a new pitcher. Jake Muzzin says he's ready, and Pat McCaw will miss some time. Sports at 15.
Here's the closing bell ringing on Wall Street. The Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ all close at historic highs, and the TSX up 75 points. Business at 26.
680 News Time 401.
Traffic and weather together on the ones, Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Viva Next. We have a new crash on the eastbound 401, actually right at Kennedy in the Collectors. Emergency crews just arriving on the scene of this crash. The right lane is blocked. As you travel east on the 401, we've first got lots of volume trying to get to this spot from Mississauga Road to Mavis, Dixon to alternately Express and Collectors to Leslie, and then it's busy from Victoria Park in the Collectors to Kennedy, and that's really heavy through this stretch because of the lane blocked at Kennedy. The right lane is closed there. The express lane's moving better through here, just minor delays. We've then got volume in the Durham region, Liverpool Express and Collectors to east of Dixon. Westbound 401 slow Leslie, alternately Express and Collectors to Dixon, 427 to approaching Dixie in the Collectors. And then off and on volume 410 Express and Collectors to west of Trafalgar. On the westbound Gardner, slow the whole way, DVP to the 427. And as you approach the 427, watch out for a construction cone in the right lane. Also got North Don Valley Parkway delays, Gerrard to north of Lawrence. Westbound Finch has now reopened from Signet to Weston following a crash cleanup. For everyone's safety when driving or walking near rapid transit construction, be alert, be safe, slow down. Safety is a shared responsibility. A reminder from Viva Next. Your next report at 4:11, and with the forecast, meteorologist Natasha Ramza.
All right, gusty winds getting lighter tonight, a couple of evening showers. Temperatures down to 7 degrees, and it's going to be dry tomorrow here in the city. A mix of sun and cloud, windy again out of the west with a high of 8 degrees, and a chance for some midday showers, especially once you get up into northern Peel region and then north into Cottage Country. Overnight tonight, though, we are down to 7 degrees. It's warm out there. Enjoy it right now. It's 12 degrees.
680 News Time 402.
With breaking news from Etobicoke, police on the scene of a brazen daylight shooting. Shots ringing out just before 1 o'clock this afternoon near Sherway Gardens in the Queensway and North Queen Street area.
680's Mark Douglas joins us live from the scene with the latest. Mark.
Well, Laura, I've been told by Toronto police it happened at about 12:45 here at this small Staples Plaza across from Sherway Gardens. This man we spoke to was eating lunch in the Via Allegro restaurant when he heard the shots ring out.
Bam, bam, bam. It's an automatic. I'm almost positive.
When you got outside, sir, the man was lying on the sidewalk or the parking lot?
He was lying with his head on the curb, and there were two nice women there trying to comfort and helping him.
Now, the witness, Hal, says he could hear the man moaning in pain, but couldn't hear him say anything coherent. The witness also saw a man earlier run into and through to the back of the restaurant he was in without asking for any help. We saw a small orange blanket out on the ground in front of the UPS store where the man had lay there bleeding. Almost the entire parking lot has been cordoned off with yellow police tape, and there's also some police tape that's been put up around a black four-door Audi, specifically, possibly the victim's car. The victim confirmed to have suffered life-threatening injuries. Toronto police cannot at this time confirm reports that the man may have died in hospital. We'll keep you up to date with the latest information from here at the scene. The Forensic Investigations Unit has arrived, and they have begun the in-depth work of going through all the evidence and trying to piece this all together. Reporting live from Queensway and North Queen Road, I'm Mark Douglas.
With breaking news from the province's public elementary teachers, a legal strike position one step closer. 680's Caitlin Lee joins us live with the latest. Caitlin.
And James, ETFO President Sam Hammond says they've been left with no choice. The 17-day countdown to a strike begins once the ETFO receives its requested no board report. It means over 83,000 public elementary school teachers, both full-time and occasional, could go on strike before the end of the month. Today's announcement comes after a meeting with the conciliator today. The union requested to navigate negotiations with the province back on October 16th, and apparently that has not helped so far with contract talks. Last week, a strike vote was held, and an overwhelming 98% of ETFO members voted in favor of strike action. The province and the union set to meet again next week. ETFO's president telling City News he hopes the government will get serious. Reporting live, I'm Caitlin Lee. Meantime, the province's school support staff have ratified their new deal, but the union representing the 55,000 2,000 workers says it was not a unanimous decision. 680's Casey Taylor reports.
Only 79% in favor of the deal, enough to pass it, but still leave uncertainty. Ontario School Board Council of Unions President Laura Walton saying members will now move forward to stand behind teachers as they continue their own negotiations.
I call on Minister Stephen Lecce to remove the concessions at these bargaining tables and make investments that are desperately needed.
The Education Minister, meantime, saying this deal was only possible because CUPE was willing to move, something he accuses the Ontario Secondary Teachers Union in particular of not being willing to do.
The day I announced a major reduction in classroom size, they escalated by proceeding with putting themselves in a strike position.
The USSTF is mid-strike vote right now, set to wrap up mid-month. I'm Casey Taylor.
As portion of the news brought to you by the Herzig Eye Institute, the federal Green Party now looking for a new leader. Elizabeth May today announcing she's no longer leading the party. Here's 680 Charlene Close.
She's been the face of the Green Party in Canada as leader since 2006. The 65-year-old says now is the time. Plus, she promised her daughter.
It was what's best for the party. I'm convinced it's also what's best for me personally, and I promised Kate.
She was first elected to Parliament in 2011. May says you never know how long a minority government will last.
2006, Stephen Harper's first minority went to 2008. When we look at what needs to be done to build for the next election, you can't postpone the decision.
The party is coming off its best election performance and now has 3 seats. A leadership convention will be held next October. I'm Charlene Close. 680 News Time 4:07. Mayor Tory and Premier Ford appear to have buried the hatchet, the two appearing together to talk transit. 680's Mullen Qureshi has more.
What a difference a year makes. A little over 12 months ago, Premier Ford and Mayor Tory had a feisty relationship, whether it was over the reducing of the size of Toronto City Council or potentially taking over the subway system. But now they're all smiles, on the same page when it comes to trying to build out Toronto Transit. Ford admits that he's toned things down at Queen's Park.
I personally think we have a great working relationship. Matter of fact, during my speech, I just called him an all-star. Doug Ford called the mayor an all-star and a champion. He's doing an incredible job.
Mayor Tory says the relationship is now in a different place, a place he hopes they can keep it.
That's what the public want. They don't really care about our squabbles and about our differences of opinion.
In Mimico, I'm Mullen Qureshi.
Police made an arrest related to a brazen shooting last week that left 5 people hurt. Shocking video release showing 2 people opening fire from a stairwell.
Yesterday, the West Gun Violence Suppression Unit executed multiple search warrants. As a result, Andre Cunningham, 20 years of age, of Toronto, was arrested.
Constable says he now faces a laundry list of charges, including 5 counts of attempted murder. Police say they continue to search for the other 2 suspects. Coming up in 30 seconds, latest problems from the streets, and we'll track gas.
680 News Time 4:09.
This is 680 News.
Hi, I'm Cherry Tabb, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute, and we do vision correction on chickens. It's true. Afterwards, when they're not feeling chicken anymore, they always say, I don't know why I was so